Good evening. Tonight I would like to talk to us. Always preaching to myself on here. I realize sometimes I come across as a little bit uppity, for lack of a better term, but that's just because I'm very passionate about what I talk about. I don't mean to come off that way. I'm sorry if I do. But tonight I would like to talk about the worst disease in the world. No, it's not cancer, it's not heart disease, not even COVID. What is it? Fatherlessness. And please, nobody, I've had people on my channel think that when I make videos, I'm being passive aggressive towards them, but I'm never doing that. I just make videos and what God puts on my heart, and there's never any secret, hidden messages, subtle messages towards any of my viewers or towards anybody. So this is something I've been thinking about for a long time, years and years and years. First started thinking about it probably, I don't know, at least 20 years ago. And it's just, the more I think about it, the more real it becomes, and the more the Lord teaches me, and the more I live with Him as my Father, understanding that He truly is our true Father. And I say our, He's not just my true Father, He's your true Father. He's everyone's true Father. Being fathered is the greatest thing ever. The Bible tells us in many spots, sorry if I'm repeating myself, but this is important stuff. The Bible tells us that God is our Father. Ephesians says He's the Father of He says that every family in heaven and on earth derives its name from the Father. And Paul and the other apostles always call God the Father. Jesus constantly referred to Him as Father, Father, Father. What do you say when you pray? Say, our Father. Jesus didn't say, my Father. I mean, He did tons of times, but when they said, teach us how to pray, in the Beatitudes, He said, say this, our Father. Why? Because Jesus is our brother. He's the firstborn among many brethren, right? He's not ashamed to call us His brother, right? And I love Hebrews. Hebrews talks about God dealing with us as sons. And it says, if it's talking in the context of discipline, but it says if you're without discipline, of which we've all become partakers, then you're illegitimate children, not sons. Why? Because discipline is an act of love. As any decent parent knows, you discipline your kids because you love them so much. You want what's best for them, so you discipline them for their own good. So that what? So that what does it say in Hebrews? He disciplines us for our own good, that we may share in His holiness, right? And 2 Corinthians 6 says God calls us His sons and daughters, right? There's tons of Bible verses that talk about God as our Father, our Father, our Father. And this makes sense because all things originate from Him, right? Fathers originate children. That's what they do. Obviously, mothers do also, but that's all God. It's all part of God's design. He's our Father. He's our Father. He's our Father. And part of my frustration with Christian culture is that it so often doesn't present God as a loving Father. It so often presents Him as distant, mysterious, sadistic, ambiguous, unknowable, unfathomable, the originator of evil, the originator of bad things in our lives, harsh, condescending, demanding, overly strict, all these things. And that's not how He is. He's pure love. He's pure love. Now, love is not just a nebulous, feel-good thing. Obviously, it's a very real, concrete. I guess concrete is not the best word. It's a very real. Love is a very real thing. It can be defined. It can be identified. And God is that, and He uses that law. It's a law of love to manage our lives and to govern our lives. Right? It's not just, oh, I love you and I make you feel good. Although it is that, right? The God of all comfort, the God of mercies and all comfort, who comforts us in all our afflictions, right? He is that, but He is also discipline. He's also instruction, right? All of the things that love is. And when human beings live without that, the end is never good. How do I know? I had a biological dad and I had a stepdad, and they were both good in their ways, and they both had faults. And I'm never here to bag on them. I honor them. I love them. They both did great things. But my biological father, who had all of his own issues, of course, and I understand why he was this way. This is not the bag show. I'm not bagging on him. I'm just calling a spade a spade. He basically was just gone when I was like 3, okay? When I was like 2 or 3, for his own reasons, and I understand. There's no judgment. My stepdad, who had the guts to come and take me as his own and provide for me for the next 15 years, which I totally applaud that effort, and I respect you, Dad. Thank you for that. He was very heavy-handed and very dominating, right? He just ruled through fear. And so even though I had dads, one was absent and one was dominating, right? Now and I'm not going to bag on them, they both had great qualities too, right? One taught me the love of nature, and he was very peaceful and things like that. And the other one taught me how to work hard, and he provided for me my whole life, right? So, but the absence of the one and the dominating nature of the other have caused me lifelong pain and insecurity and a fear mentality that I've struggled with pretty much all of my life. And I'm just being vulnerable to illustrate the point, okay? Now that was me. Now there are other people in the world, and I see this all around me. I was seeing it today with people I'm not going to mention. I see kids, I see teenagers, I see little ones, I see them growing up without dads. And without judging the dads, because I know how the world is, I know how difficult it can be, I understand all that. Growing up without a dad is just, I see the damage it's causing. I see the havoc that it's wreaking in these kids' lives. I see kids growing up lonely. I see kids growing up insecure. Why? Because love secures you. And the less love there is, the more insecure a person is. That's just the facts. That's very logistical. Love secures human beings. That's the way it works. And fear makes kids and human beings insecure. That's a logistical fact. When there's no love, something must fill the void. As it is in the natural, so it is in the spiritual. Nature hates a vacuum, physically. Spiritually, nature hates a vacuum. Love is meant to fill us, real comprehensive love. In the absence of real comprehensive love, generally speaking, fear shows up. Fear causes insecurity, okay? Those things produce bad fruit. You have a bad root, you have bad fruit, okay? So I see this so much in the world around me that it's heartbreaking. Kids need dads, kids need moms, kids need parents. God created parents, okay? And I'm not dissing on mothers. I understand kids need their mothers too. God made both, mothers and fathers. But a father fills a unique role in that kids tend to equate, human beings tend to equate their view of God with their fathers. And they're, right? So however the father element is in their lives, that's how they tend to see God. That's just the way it goes. So if a father is absent, then kids see God as absent. If a father is dominating, kids see God as dominating. If a father is abusive, kids see God as abusive. If a father is loving in a comprehensive way, we do it imperfectly, but we do our best, and kids learn to see God that way. It's just the fact. That's just the way it goes. And the main point, though, is that fathers' love secures kids. Mother's love secures kids to a degree, but a father's love secures children. And that security affects every area of people's lives: spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, financial, relational, sexual, you name it. Security infiltrates every other aspect of life, okay? It even affects the physical, because our spirits are expressed through our physical bodies. So when the love is there, the love secures us spiritually, it secures us mentally, it secures us emotionally, it secures us financially if the teaching is there. Relationally, it secures us relationally, it secures us sexually, especially when the teaching is there. Right? Some of these areas they need teaching, most of these areas they need teaching, right? Which is another role that fathers are supposed to fill. But when fathers don't do this stuff and the kids just have to figure all this out on their own, it's like it's just a confusing, insecure, grasping, fighting, clawing struggle to do it all on your own. And that's not secure, that's insecure. That's people trying to claw and grasp and figure it out on their own, right? And you can't blame kids for doing that, because what else are they going to do? That's what I did, right? Because even though I was provided for, right? So I never lacked. But as far as most of the other stuff, there was no education, there was there was no affection, right? Just, hey, we're providing for you and we're going to feed you and we're going to keep you safe. Well, mostly. There was provision, there was housing, right? There was always that. So I was taken care of, but the rest was pretty lacking. And so I had to figure it out on my own, and it was a flipping mess, right? And I'm still digging out of that today at age 53. How? By learning to be fathered by God. Thanks. Have a fabulous day.